Welcome to the second mini lecture. Today we are going to touch on some basic concept of production and we'll try to link it with our coffee business to enhance our understanding. Hey, what is production? Production, or sometimes also referred to operations management, is all the activities that we or the managers are engaged in to produce goods or services. Please note that I mentioned the word managers there. This is because in big companies, the owners might not be involved in production at all, and they have a particular manager who handles the production aspect. But for us, if we are small or medium-sized companies, chances are we, the owners, are also the production managers. I would also like to point out that we can only produce two things. It is either goods, which are tangible, or services, which are intangible. The goods, or also referred as tangible items, are things which are physically present, have colors, can be touched and seen, while the services, which are intangible, are not physically present but rather experienced. For our coffee shop, what do you think we produce? Is it goods or services? Actually, it can be both. But how? Well, that is for you to think and discuss later on. But first, let's compare the production of goods and services. I mean, how does production of goods differ from the production of services? In what ways? Well, there are 4 ways how production of services are different from the production of manufactured goods. First, services will be consumed immediately and cannot be stored. It is unlike manufactured goods. Second, services are provided when and where the customer desires the service. Example of this is when we go to a barber to cut our hair. The services provided by the barber will be consumed immediately and it will only be provided when and where we want it. The third point is to produce services, we will have to rely heavily on human resources, whereas the production of goods will have to rely more on the machineries. Lastly, since services are intangible, it is a bit tougher to evaluate customer satisfaction. Alright, now let's move on to the next aspect related to production, which is the factors of production. First, what does it mean by the term factors of production? Well, it simply means that when we are trying to produce the goods or services, there are things that we need in order for us to produce. So how many factors of productions are there? In total, there are only 4 factors of production, and they are the labor or human resources, capital, physical resources, and information resources. Let us discuss a little bit on this. The first factor of production is the labor or human resources. Some use the term labor, while others use the term human resources. Well, it is the same, different term but same meaning. It is just the human being working inside the company. It's not just the human being. It might be our coffee shop employees, our managers, our coffee specialists, or others working inside our coffee shop. The second factor of production is the capital. To make it simple, capital is just money. Money to buy raw materials, money to pay the salaries of our employees, money to purchase the coffee machines, money to pay the rent and others. Without money, we can't produce. The third factor of production is the physical resources, which are related to offices, raw materials, our coffee shops, our coffee machines, facilities and others. The last factor of production is the information resources, which are related to the data, the knowledge, the work process. It might be a market forecast, it might be our customer data, it might be sales data and others. To sum up, all these 4 factors of production are equally important, and if we are lacking any one of these, it might jeopardize our whole production. For instance, if we have all the necessary employees, all the money that we have, but we are lacking of the coffee to brew, it will impact our production. Before we end, just several quick quizzes. First, how many types of coffee are actually available? The answer to that is two. They are the Arabica and Robusta. Which of these two is the most popular? It is Arabica. From these two types of coffee, how many aromatic profiles have been identified? The answer is 36. 36 aromatic profiles of coffee have been identified from these two types of coffee.